All right. Hello, and good evening. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's multi-location Google Maps SEO video, what I need to share with my friends out there, you know who you are. I want to share with you some tips. If you are a local business owner with multiple locations in the same city, I want to point out some tips that will absolutely help you with ranking in both places. So, what I want to go ahead and do is I'll walk through the tips really to help a really good friend of mine. I've been working with another agency, and I aim to help, and I hope that it can also help you in your business. Now, before I get any further, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. I have learned over the course of time you want to keep everything as simple as possible. So all you need to do is scroll down to the very bottom. I've been made fun of, but that's okay. This here is a menu. We make it as easy as possible. If you click right here on all services, you just go right here. It's going to take you over to this particular form right here. I have everything you need to succeed in local markets. With that being said, all right, we're going to go ahead and head back here. And I don't want to waste too much time yapping about me. I'm here to help you. So let's go ahead. We'll get into my computer right here. We'll leave this up in case you forget my name, Chris Palmer from chrispalmer.org. Oh, and I hope you're having a wonderful night. This is the mastermind. This will get moved to the members only. I'll let it sit up here for a couple days. It's freezing in here. Let me shut this door. I got a little heater going. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen. All right. And we'll get into some of these tips. All right. If you have any questions too, save them for the end or put them into the chat. I will take time because this is a live stream. What I'll do at the very end here is I will go over to the questions and I would love to answer them for you. All right. Also, my good buddy, we're friends now. Danny Lambert did a interview with myself, and man, it came out phenomenal. I love what he did there. He used all the graphics. I call it being fancy. See, I always put value on the content, the actual content. But I give it up to the fancy pantses out there. And Danny, great job, buddy. With that being said, I just don't do stuff like that. But that's me. Hey. With that said, we're going to go through some of these tips. So these tips are geared towards another particular business, but I want to make sure that you get the most value. One of the first things that I want to point out, all right, and I want you to analyze this for yourself. If you have two businesses, all right, I want you to come over and pull a business up. Now, I don't know who this is. This is just one that was in one of the markets that I'm in. I don't even know what niche this is. Okay. I pulled up this business, but this was for a particular reason. All right. Traffic cost is astronomical. The amount of keywords, yes, is picking up, but I want to point this out. For the business owners that are working with agencies, the white hat agencies that do everything by the book, they leave themselves wide open for us, right? The ones actually doing it. So what I want to share with you is when you scroll down here, take a look. All right. Now, yes, I've taken the columns. I've taken the liberty of cleaning up the columns within SEMrush. This is a tool. There's lots of tools out there. But see this traffic? This isn't traffic percentage. This isn't volume. Volume is here and this is traffic. Traffic is actual clicks. Okay. Now, when they put UTM parameters, not only are they showing to us the actual click, right? The amount, but this particular company, and this is just one that I found that did it just perfect for me. When you take a look here, they're even telling you where it came from. But take a look for yourself here. Now, this town here, this is very, very close to me. It's right up the road. It's like a half hour away, right? That's why I chose this one. The person that I help out is in this space, but on the other side of the country. I'm in Pennsylvania. So they're over there, way over there west. But with that said here, I want you to take a look at this. So when we take a look at this traffic, and this goes into the tips that I want to share with you, you need to make sure that if you're getting traffic, whether this is manipulated traffic, whether this is manipulated engagement, whether this is paid advertising, you want to make sure that the key terms and phrases, all the variations, and on top of the variations, we also want to make sure that we're hitting, you see these variants? See, I call them LSI variants. So take a look and see. We can see, yeah, SEMrush is going to outline this, but there's other key terms that will come into maps or localized. But you want to take a look when they put these UTM parameters, because they have to know precisely so they could charge probably, right? When we take a look here, look at this, 171. Do you think that it's a coincidence that these numbers are so closely related and they're just precisely the exact keywords that they want to rank for? It's not a coincidence. So what I'm getting at here is when you have multiple locations, let's make sure that we're getting our branded, and on top of that, our LSI variations and our variations of primary key term in the same amounts as our competitors. To be competitive, allegedly, this person in a city that's 100,000 people is getting hundreds of clicks. And we're talking about organic. These say organic. Bologna sandwiches. All right. This business is getting more clicks for these term and term variations than there is volume for the actual key term. This is laughable. In any case, I see this across the board. All right. So make sure wherever you're trying to rank, we want to match and mirror this. Now let's go ahead and use this person. All right. And if this is you and you have this will go in the member section anyway. But if you see this for some odd reason, and I don't know who you are, I don't know what business this is, but if you have an issue, you can call me, 570-810-1080, and I'll show you how to do this right. Anyway, let's come inside of here. The next thing that I want to share with you, okay, is this, okay? In this market, along with many other markets, and we'll just use this competitor. I just got to make sure I don't use any brand or logos or anything, because that's the only way, all right? This is educational purposes only. I'm not associated with any of these brands, businesses, or service. This is non-intellectual property. If there's any issues, you can feel free to call me or reach out to support, 570-810-1080, or you can email me at founder@chrispalmer.org. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's move forward with the next element. Now, regardless of the industries that you're in, I want you to, and let me see what key terms they're doing here. I don't know if this business is doing it, but the next thing that I want to point out when we're talking about multiple locations in Google Maps, the site that's connected massively can help the map's performance, okay? And I'm starting at the bottom of the list and working my way up. So, and I wrote everything down here. These are deficits that I found to help you, okay? Spend an hour doing this for you, for free. I love you, all right? So, the element that I want to point out next is going to be this, all right? I don't know if this guy is doing it or this person, whomever it is, okay? When you come over here, we'll point this out. Let's see here. All right, get that logo out of here. Okay. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted. So see this here? This Espanol, okay? Having rel canonical, okay, or having multiple versions of the same text allows me to not only rank for more terms, but now I can run, especially if you're in, say, a market. See, I live next to a city or an area that is multicultural. Excellent. I love it, right? That's more potential for you as a business, right? I call it taking all bets. I'm sure you do too, right? We take all bets. So with that said, having rel canonical within the site, having multiple landing pages for your ads, also it opens up the ability to push traffic. Okay. Now, I want to clarify this, all right, because you mentioned this to me. Multiple people have mentioned this. You do not build links to your Google business profile, right, unless it's entity building or in order to push traffic. This is the only reason, right? So if I'm going out on the web and I'm doing a press release or a directory, an aggregator, a citation, a guest post, doesn't matter, right? Authoritative, non-authoritative, comment link, whatever it is. Unless it's entity building, right? This is building associations or making your brand synonymous with the services or topics or key terms that you provide, right? Unless I'm doing that, building entity relationship, right? I've done it crassly on my own site, right? That was one element. But non-crassly, what you want to make sure of is that we do our entity building. And then secondly, when we're building these links in, these links, these votes are segues, are segues to your site. The prominence or the propensity for a link to be clicked not only increases the power of the link, but it also increases the visibility of the asset that it's pointing to. So not only will I get a benefit from the link more, but I'm also getting traffic to the asset. Are you with me? That's a key piece. All right. So we talked about rel, canonical, and pumping traffic. Okay. So the next thing that I want to point out is a section inside of your GBPs. And I see this across the board, and I noticed this with you, right? When you have multiple locations, okay, or even one location, these tips are geared towards multi-location. We'll get more into location specific, but regardless if it's single or multi, here's something I want to point out to you. So let's find a business out here, okay? So here, let's just do, I don't know, Los Angeles DUI lawyer, okay? So come out here and we go to lawyer. We're looking at DUI lawyers, okay? I know DUI is more criminalized, and I'm more focused upon personal injury, but it doesn't matter, right? When we take a look at this, I want to point something out to you, okay? So what I want to do is I want to grab this person right here, and I'm going to bring it over here so I can use a tool called Plepper. Okay. Plepper is a tool set that will allow me to see the optimization of the profile, like categories, primary category, all types of things. So what I want to do is I want to show you this. We're going to click on this, and we're going to come inside of here, right? This guy looks like a lawyer. Anyway, when we scroll on down, I want to point this out to you, okay? I'm waiting for my little tool to pop up. Let's go over here to Maps. Where is she? Maps. It's called Attributes, okay? But here's what I want to show you, okay? Anything outside of the normal, anything outside of the average is an outlier. Outliers and patterns get dinged by Google, okay? If you're going to showcase 14 attributes, wheelchair accessible, you have, and I've spoken about this before, you have white hat warriors, competitors, and then yourself, right? And Google. There's 4 things that could potentially mess up a campaign, right? So with that said, you have people going out of their way to destroy your business. Unfortunately, I'm not, no, all negativity aside, but a white hat will go out of their way to hurt your business. If there's any issue, gray hat SEOs will also look for discrepancies in order to get soft suspension so you can get in position, right? Hey, it's part of the game, right? But what I want to point out here is, and the reason why I'm mentioning this, is having this accessibility and having all of these features allows me to show up in more SERPs and be relevant for more people, more intent. Why? Because sometimes people are looking, Google knows everybody's profile if they have a Google account, right? They know if they're LGBTQ. They know if it's a safe space. They know if you're wheelchair accessible. They want to know, is there a restroom? Is there a public restroom? Is there Wi-Fi? Is there not Wi-Fi? Is it women owned? Is it veteran owned? Is it this? Is it that, right? So not only are they looking for classifiers, or are they looking for what they call validation, basically. So they're looking within your site, and then there's third-party checkers, or there's people that have local guide accounts that will check. Also, it could be your visitors. It could be your competitors going in there to validate if you actually have these amenities. Now, these amenities lead to more rankings. So here's the cure. One of the cures is you don't want to fill your page with a bunch of nonsense, right? Like, I don't want to talk about bathrooms and this and that, but one of the pages that always gets seen no matter what is privacy policy and terms of service. Don't believe me? Check your server log. So these are phenomenal places to have no index but follow that will still be seen by Google. Just because it's no index doesn't mean that Google respects the directive, especially on assets such as terms of service and privacy policy. They don't respect it. They do what they want. They're Google. I don't blame them, right? You know this. So check your server log. You'll see they're always scanning this. This is the places that you pack this information in. Why? Because I have to validate. I have to justify. Justification is the word I'm looking for. The justification is that it's also listed within the site. This is a deficit. Make sure if you want to be visible for all of these things, to be able to be seen by more people, stick it into your pages. It has to be seen by Google. It has to be written about. All right, next thing. Okay. Here's a king, a Dundada. This is a slammer for you. You want multiple location? The justification between end user and what you say about yourself, okay? Your slogan, your motto, what you say about yourself, your motto, your slogan, stuff that you stick, go look at entity types and go and look at schema markup, okay? If you want to be more relevant for something, an address, a location, or maybe an expert in some sort, right? Do this. I'll just use this as an example. Let's just say that I'm known as a #1 trial lawyer for truck accidents, right? Well, that's part of my motto. 88 million one, 250 million one, 680 million one. The #1 trial lawyer of Los Angeles, California. Well, that motto, that slogan, and I'm just using that as an example. My slogan could be whatever I'm pitching. This is the same slogan that is not verbatim repeated within reviews, but very similar within reviews. So if I'm trying to dominate within a location, slogans, mottos, and what is mentioned on the site when talking about your brand or a person that works at your brand needs to be repeated by others. Google respects. This is kind of like, when you get a review and the response of a review, there's no weight in the response. Google doesn't value what you say, right? It needs to be justified by the end user, okay? So tip number 3 or 4 at this point. Tip number 4 is the justifications that I'm saying about myself, whatever I'm aiming for. Let's make sure that this type of verbiage is repeated by third parties, by end user, okay? So we talked about attributes, talked about traffic, talked about rel canonical to be able to get more traffic. We talked about links and their actual reason for links existing is to push traffic through. The next thing is this. You're setting up Google Guarantee, right? There's a lot of things going on here on Google, okay? And there's a lot of ways to communicate with, for lack of better terminology, and to simplify, to speak to Googlebot, right? One of the things, and this is up to you, whether you're spending dollars or not, okay? What I highly recommend is there's lots of things here. So we're going to look up DUI attorney, LA. We scroll on down the page. You have this here. So this is an extension. We can have local business, this extension. Up here, generally, it's here, guarantee. And then as we scroll down here, sometimes there's ads here or down here at the bottom, sponsor result, okay? Organic, local extension, or maps, right? This is a local extension of organic, okay? Also could be considered maps. There's 2 ways to do it. Then you have guarantee, and then you have maps. I'm leading to something here, okay? And then you have maps. 4 different ad type sets, okay? Now, how can I communicate to Googlebot other than utilizing keywords for targeting? Well, here's another way to get more traction for your multiple locations, okay? One of the things that you'll notice And C is A, you're going to have unique conversion actions that you're tracking. B, you're setting up a campaign that has multiple ads in it. The campaign is targeting a service type. In this particular instance, let's say it's DUI attorney. I have a campaign, DUI attorney. I have ads that are targeting specific locations. Are you with me? So, see it right here. See this? I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I love it. Take a look. Okay? So here, whoever's picture this is, I'm utilizing this. It's fair use, right? I didn't take it. This is fair use. I got dinged one time by somebody out there. Thanks for that, because I used a picture. I didn't even use it in the thumbnail. Weaklings. Anyway, take a look at this. So you'll set up your campaign based upon service type. And then the next element that you want to do for yourself is we want to make sure that we have unique conversion actions. That's a unique code. Don't just use the universal. Don't just use the GTM, right? Universal. That's great. That's wonderful, right? We want to track as many people as possible. But we also want to have unique conversions. So that way we have a unique pixel tracking for conversion, but we're also targeting multiple locations. Are you with me? Now it's clear and evident whether you run money through the door or not. You know when you have to run the check? Take it or leave it. It's up to you. You can decide for yourself. Set up individual ads under a campaign under the key terms and secondary key terms that you want to rank that page for. All right. This is wildly helpful for maps. And then if I can have also the benefit to run dollars through that campaign, even better. All right. Now note, local extensions, you have maps, right? You have the extension that's inside of your desktop, Google, right? And then on top of that, you have your organic, and then I have my guarantee. You see, Google values traffic differently. So we want to make sure that we're matching and mirroring, okay? And how we know that Google, the value of traffic is separated differently. Google has not only color-coded it, but they've also even laid it out in 4 separate categories, right? What am I talking about? Well, when you come inside of your Google Business Profile Traffic Analytics, right? Probably spelled that wrong, but that's okay. Take a look at this. Let me see here. This is a live stream, so bear with me. I don't preset up. This isn't written down. This is off the top, right? So, I just I want to point this out to you. It's important. It's important to understand. Here. Okay, here. Look, this right here. Okay, here. This. Okay. This all plays together. It's never just one thing. Okay. It's not just one thing that you do that reaches success. It's a bunch of small things consistently over time that leads to your growth and your success, right? Like I could tell you the cheat to jump you in there very quickly, but we're going to cover the pieces that will allow you to rank multiple locations and maps. These will also allow you to become a success within Google Maps. Now I see a lot of businesses too. They're running traffic. You're pumping traffic in interactions, and then you're doing your conversion actions, right? Working with companies paying $1,000 running in 2 mile and 3 mile radiuses. Stop. Right? So here, take a look at this. See, we know that Google values different traffic types because they've even classified different traffic types. So when we understand that, true brands and true businesses are getting branded traffic from all types that are being valued by Google, right? So when I'm setting up ads, when I'm setting up optimization, when I'm running manipulated or anything else, make sure you're targeting all of the types, okay? And then most notably, if I have 2 locations, make sure they're spread equally. They need to both be equally valued. See, what's great about having multiple locations in a particular area is that I could potentially get multiple listings within maps. And I know this to be true. I work with a gentleman in Toronto that does hospital beds, and we own the whole map in flipping Toronto. It's a city. So make sure you're hitting all these. Move on to the next thing. Okay. Now, here's the next element that I noticed for you specifically, but also others. You know, when you have multiple, remember when you first set up your GBPs, right? Think about a business owner, right? You're setting up your maps, and the first thing that you do is this, all right? So we can take a look together. I'll show you something here. How about Google this profile images? And I could log into 160 different accounts and show you inside of the accounts, but I got yelled at by a client. They're like, "Stop showing my stuff." And I'm like, "All right, I won't. Sorry to you, my friend." But anyway, here. So when we come inside of here, all right, you know how at the very top you will have multiple image types that you can add. And remember when you first set up, you had a bunch of visibility, and then you start to degrade and downgrade. I want it here. I'll show you one. Come on over here. Let me show you something. Let me see who I have here. Bigger Vision, whomever this is. Okay. Hopefully you don't get sad. But see these tips that are here, these little blocks, okay? One of the first, like, follow their discretion, follow their rules, do what they ask you, okay? See, when you take a look at this, I want to show this to you, all right? So one of the first things that's inside of here is to update all of your imagery, right? So, but there's multiple, just like with traffic, there's multiple facets to imagery. So if you're looking at your asset, okay, and I come inside of here, edit profile photos. So view all my photos. See, we have your street views, you have your ownership, you have interior, you have exterior, right? You have your team. See, this one's not filled out all the way. He must be new, but that's okay. So what I would highly recommend is if you're looking at your images and you took pictures of your sign, but it was 2 years and a year ago, go through there and update everything. Update your images, upload your video, and then 2, there's a reason why when you first sign up and you first log in, that there's multiple types that need to be uploaded. Interior, exterior, team, at the office, inside. And 2, they have a little tiny, it goes into the bottom. You can connect it and you can do your own 360s and upload them and Google will accept it, right? On top of that, you can even do it on your street. What I'm getting at here is update your imagery. Just like you need to update your directories and your citations, your paid directories, your geospecifics, right? You need to keep that updated because there's link decay. In my opinion, images are part of the vector. This image is an entity. These need to be updated on a 90-day basis. You need to be updating this stuff. Now, if you're lazy, not saying you are, but if you want to be, you can rip them and then re-upload. The only image types that have metadata that's accepted, there's only 2 types. See, and I'll show you what they are. Do not upload JPEG and don't upload PNG. There's 2 types, right? And what they are is HSLX, I believe. HEIC. So HEIC is iPhone, and HEIC, and the other one, it's not HEIC. I think it's HEIV. Those 2 types that you take with your actual device, and you set that geolocation and the time and the longitude and latitude. Okay, those, and at least when you download them, will still re-showcase information. Those are the only two types. And we tested 120 different meta types. And the only videos, I never shared this before, so first time publicly, the only types that you'll actually get play on are those types. So what I'm getting at is this. When you upload your images, when you upload your video, when you upload your 360, make sure you're taking them with a device. Okay? Don't download them and then upload them as JPEG or whatever. Make sure it's from a device at the location. If you want to utilize a tool, go for it. Okay? But those ones get valued the most, in my opinion. Moving forward. All right? Keep that updated. Interior, exterior, at the job, people coming in, testimonials. You with me? Great. All right? We talked about so far. I started at the bottom. All right? These are smaller stuff. Moving into larger things. Rel canonicals hitting multiple locations, the traffic different types, images and videos that are a year old or a half a year old, the 360s. Cool, great, wonderful. Keep that updated every 90 days on a rotation. It's very, very important. Keeping your profile up to date is massively important. The next thing too, and it's even recommended by Google, that I notice a lot of business owners won't do because they don't want to confuse Google. Trust me, quantum processors don't get confused. Okay? Quantum processing at the scale that Google is at will not be confused by you putting words on a page. In fact, they completely understand the complete syntax at this point, right? Sentiment, syntax, they're with it. They understand how the mood is and they understand the whole document. Don't worry about that. So it's even recommended by actual flipping Google when you take a look at this. Here, look at directions. Okay. Think about when Google used to give you the free website. What did they have up at the top and down at the bottom? They had the embed with the directions, but up at the top, there was a clickable link to get directions. And look at this. It even shows up here. Coincidence? I think not. Let's make sure that we're given directions, right? This is a better user experience. But the secondary tip that I want to give you is, and it's even in here, look at this. Add a map to your website. Google's not going to be confused. Now, why is this important? Why? Well, people think that it's the actual embed. But if you think back many years back, right, when people were doing, even I was doing the stacks, what would you do? You would embed a calendar. Why? Because I could set the calendar to call Google, right, to stay updated. So when I'm embedding Google's content into a page, Google's number one thing is to keep their users safe. So what do? They consistently come back to the site. Don't believe it? Check your server log before you add the map and then check after and see when you get more visibility and more views by Google. That's why the embed is important. It's getting more calls. So what's the tip here? Add both maps. Add directions to both. You'll have your locations listed at the top or at the bottom or on a page, and you'll talk about all the locations. Why not talk about both locations? Also, business owners that have these 800 numbers, when you have multiple locations, you have 800 numbers. I get it. I understand. But the actual phone number that's attached to the GBP and you're broadcasting across your directories, that number better show up at higher density than that 800 number within the pages that you're connected to. You with me? Right? So I get the 800. If you want to make that big, great, go ahead. But I need at least the higher density because Google's looking for those justifications. They're looking for that connection, that reciprocal linking, that co-citation reciprocal, that reciprocal co-citation. You with me? Okay, great. So we talked about the phone number, talked about the images and keeping it updated, the two different types of image types that I want to see, right? Google might strip a lot of the information and metadata, but what are they doing with it on the upload? Do you think it's a coincidence that when you upload an HVIC image that is from a targeted location or you add it to a review for a targeted location, that when looking at a geogrid, if I upload for a longitude and latitude that's 4 miles away, that red circle, when you're looking at a geogrid, will go from orange to green? No, it's not a coincidence. I implore you to utilize these types and upload inside your reviews and also to your profile. And don't forget, multi-vectoral retrieval is very important. There's multiple vectors that are building out your entity graph, right? So what I would make sure of is make sure you have your video, make sure that you have your imagery, make sure that the words, the videos, and the images all relate to one another. And that's what you're going to drill into their heads. Also, on top of that, OCR is very important, right? So make sure also at sometimes can we put words over the top, an overlay of sorts. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Let's move forward. So far, let's see if there's any questions and then we'll move forward. Okay. I hope that's okay with y'all. All right. And I would like to welcome a few of you. So let's go ahead and do that together. All right. Again, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. I made the site as simple as possible. I'm not fancy. We're a white label SEO agency. I'm looking for agencies, small business owners, anybody that has 1-2 accounts. If you want help with local or maps, I'm your guy. Okay. So let's go down this list here. Lex, my friend. I'm having trouble pronouncing it, but thank you so much. Greetings. You're always working. I love your videos. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break. I was having some personal and relationship concerns, right? You know, you have the physical and the spiritual, right? And in the physical, dollars, family, very, very important, right? So when you're chasing, time is very thin, right? And when you make a decision to chase a dream, you know, some things have to get cut out. And I made my decision. So that's that. Let's move down. But thank you. Yes, working is very important, but I did take a little break. But don't you worry. You're going to see lots of me this year. Carlos, my man. He taught me how to do the salsa, my friend. Thank you, sir. I utilized that in the Philippines. And I had a phenomenal time. Thank you, by the way. Moving down the list here. WG Lima, my man. Will this live be saved? Thank you. Well, it's going to move to the members only. I'll give after some time. However, I'm going to leave it up for a day or two and then I'll move it over. Like once I hit my active viewer count, like 400, 300, like the people that value the information that I share, that hit every video, once that hits that 300 or 400, then I'll move it over, right? I want to make sure that the people that value it get to see it and then I'll move it. All right. And that's how I usually do things. Thank you for asking and caring. Moving down the list here, is a PR distribution via Global Newswire worth the investment for boosting my blog's domain authority and ranking my ClickBank affiliate content? Okay. I applaud you for asking the question, but DA, DR, TF, AS, and any other barometer for measuring the potency or the authority of a web asset is irrelevant to Google, right? So I'm never chasing a DR or a DA or a metric or a number. What we're the second part of your question, which is rankings and getting traffic you want to make dollars, right? A PR is useful if when I'm looking at competitors, if their asset, okay, if who I'm competing with also is in that link graph, you know, the context to the content, all right, the anchor, the category in which that those links are in, is that mirroring what your competition is utilizing? You know, I think that a press release in what you're asking, this specific question, might not be your best allocation of dollars. I mean, if you're going directly to the source, spending $700, would that dollar be better invested into more authoritative links? I do believe so. You know, we ran a campaign very recently, and then we'll get back to maps, multiple location maps, all right, and ranking your Google business profile if you have multiple locations inside of maps, and also other tips as well. But I have a client currently that's in a grayish area, in any case, we were building New York Times, CNN, The Guardian, Mashable, sites like this. Okay, I can help you build these types of links for a very fair. Like if you have 750, you could get 20, 10 solid links that are of that caliber. And I think that would be a much better allocation of budget in this instance because it's authority. All right. So hopefully that helps you out, brother. And don't chase DA or DR. That's irrelevant. I mean, it's a barometer, but that's not the game. The game is the least amount of pages with the most amount of keywords, visibility, and entity relationship building. That's the game. All right. Hopefully that helps you out. Now let's move forward to more maps. And so Bigger Vision's a buddy of mine. All right. So we were looking at this. All right. Let's go back inside of here. Now we're just going to pull one of these, a rabbit out of the hat with a bat, 6'4". I wish I had a car, but so far I got a hatchback. Wherever I go, I'm getting laughed at. Here, we'll go down here. Remember that song? Anyway, I don't know who this is. This is just for educational purposes only. What we're going to talk about now is supporting content and your posting strategy. I covered this in detail in another video. It's not about the post. It's about the checks that Google has to run to make sure that where you're sending their traffic is safe, no malware, no phishing, no spam, and it's actually safe. Also, too, think about your ads. You know when you have your ad score? I think maybe Bing does it. I think Google does it as well, if I think about it correctly. When I repeat the words on the page that are also what I'm targeting in the ad, what happens? Ad score goes up, right? And then they'll make you make different titles for your ads, right? And what you're trying to do is mirror the variations of term. Now, why is this important? Because the words that I'm putting within my post, the content, needs to match the context that I'm sending it to, okay? So if I'm pumping out or I'm utilizing a posting strategy to get more visibility, to get eyeballs and also impression share, right? And there's multiple other reasons for this. I want to make sure that you're doing this correctly. So let me come over here to this personal. We'll come over here to Google and we'll look up personal injury lawyer Houston. Okay. And here's what I want to point out. So a lot of times, yes, you should point to top level pages. For instance, if you're doing medical malpractice, workers' compensation, brain injury, bicycle, just regular personal injury, car, truck, rideshare programs, right? Whatever the case is. Yes, you want to send posts to top level pages, right? For instance, if I have, website.com/car accident lawyer, right? Or probably you would have something like this. If your site's set up like this and it's required, car accidents, and then I have my Houston page, yes, I want to send stuff here. Of course. But no, when you're building your post strategy, not only do I need those words to be relevant here at the post level and also on the page, but I also want them to be relevant because you have 3 times to post. Your strategy is on a sequence. You're doing 3 posts a day, and what you're doing is you're rotating through all of your pages. So if I'm doing car accidents, and let's just say I have Houston, Austin, and then I have another page, Dallas, that's 4 different pages. I have a top level page, I have Dallas, Houston, and Austin. You could probably get away with doing all 4 of those in one day as long as you break it up throughout the day. And that's your sequence. Your goal is by the end of the month to send a post to every page. Don't just send links to top level pages. Oh, are you with me? So here, let me show you this. So let's just see if this person, I don't know who this is, they're utilizing, so it says learn more. So this person is putting more value on supporting type content. And yes, that's fine. But what's more important? Okay, their second post is better. We're looking to promote high commercial. right? You're a business, not a blog, right? So what you want to do is cycle through your high commercial intent. That's your top level, and then also your locations. And we can do 3, 4 a day and break it up throughout the day. You can automate this. It's cheap. In some cases, almost free. You with me? So make sure you're doing that. Now, the next thing that I noticed is this. All right. 5, 6 years ago when I first started talking about this, nobody used to do this, right? But here, let me show you this. So we come inside of here. I don't know who this is. This is just for truck accidents, high value proposition. So this person is doing it at a reasonable rate here, right? But remember, my website, my GBP's products, product category, my services, my reviews, my description, the anchor text that's coming to me, the external links that I have, we're repeating what? Location and primary key terms over and over and over and over again. And the person that does the same thing consistently long enough becomes a winner. Okay? So what I'm getting at here is product category and product. Okay? So if I do truck accidents and I'm talking about a location, let's just say it's Houston. Well, is there multiple neighborhoods that are valuable? Is there multiple areas, or is there secondary terms? For instance, truck accidents could be semi-truck, 18-wheeler. It could be truck crash. It could be truck accident, but usually it's semi-truck and 18-wheeler and truck accident, right? That's 3. So what I would highly recommend is if I have multiple locations and I'm on one of the locations and I'm doing my products, also think about service. What I would want here then is I want to have truck accidents, truck accident lawyer probably, or truck accidents. It's up to you. But here, one of the products would be what? Semi-truck lawyer, Houston. 18-wheeler truck accident lawyer, Houston. Truck accident lawyer, Houston. Those are my products under the primary category in this section. Okay? I noticed you're not doing that. I want to set up that co-citation linking. It's co-citation reciprocal linking. That's what we're doing back and forth. It doesn't have to be a click and it doesn't have to be direct, but I'm talking about those words. It's the same. It's mirroring. Okay. All right. So that's that. Also to this category here, this is a enhancement. You can get up to 4. So you pick 4 that are your primary. See, this person here is a personal injury lawyer. Again, if you see this video guy, Brian, give me a call. All right. And I'll fix this right up for you. But you don't even have personal injury here. And don't look at Morgan and do what they're doing. You did like this practice areas. Who's looking for practice areas? People have concerns for service or practice area, right? Car accident, truck, semi, whatever it is, plus location. Okay. So we would want to put our primary category here, right? Personal injury lawyer. And that leads me to this. Okay. I have my primary type, the all-encompassing primary category. And then I build supporting in services and products and through my posting, right? So don't dilute yourself here, right? I see this all the time. So let me take a look at this. Here, let's come over here. So if you're using, say, personal injury lawyer, law firm, and trial lawyer, I could talk about trials. I could talk about my firm, but you target your primary category in your primary category section, right? You can't have more than one. Can't be the expert of more than one thing. Always target the all-encompassing, personal injury, maybe firm. I don't know what yours is. One here, and then my secondaries I put in services and products and through my posting, and I mentioned in my description. Are you with me? Excellent. The next element that I want to point out to you is this. All right. So here, I'll show you something here. So if I were to come inside of here, let me show you something here. So let me show you something here. Come down here. All right. Now, again, we're looking for examples. Let me point something out to you. So come down into here. Now, Google is going to bold things that are relevant or entity based, right? Take a look. Why would Google bold a sentence? Do you want the answer? Here, take a look. All right. I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I love it. Watch. Take note, white hats. Well, make sure you get your quotes right too. Oh, it's fun. Whatever. Well, what's their name again? I'm looking to figure out. Oh, I know why. And make sure you're on all because I need to check everything. Okay. Finally. Got it. Okay. I was about to go grab another example. I just wanted something bold. Okay. Take a look at this. This is, oh my gosh. This is so important to understand. Okay. I'm not going to spoon feed this one, but this is very important to understand. Okay. Now, I'm searching for personal injury lawyers. What did I do? I searched a lot. Chris, you searched a lot. I'm not really sure what you were doing. Here. What was it? Personal. What city? Oh, okay. Fine. Whatever. Allentown. This is a big city next to me. Okay. It's literally the next city over. Okay. So here, take a look at this. These are our winners. Okay. So what I did is I scrolled down because we wanted to get past. Oh, I didn't notice that these were here. I thought it was all sponsored. My mistake. I can't win them all. So I grabbed this lady. I thought she was in the map pack. My mistake. But I grabbed her thinking she was in the map pack to showcase this. And I've seen this in the real estate market for chiropractors, for dentists, for personal injury lawyers, for criminal lawyers, in the spaces that I'm in. Okay. I've been seeing this more and more often. Now, why would they bold this? And understanding this is critical. Now, in order to understand this, and then I'm going to get off of this subject, based on the provided search results, the phrase personable patient attorneys who understand what you're going through is a customer review, okay, for this particular industry, okay? Now, if I were to take this and put it in quotes, let me see if I could get it to go. Perfect. Describes legal professionals who prioritize client care, empathy, and clear communication along with technical skills. These attorneys are sought out for emotionally draining or life-altering situations such as personal injury and medical. Okay. Now, what they didn't say here this time that I've seen on others is a key piece of information. Is it will say that this is either testimonial with proper sentiment, that is the motto, or a testimonial or review, a motto or a slogan of personal injury law firms. Okay. So having your motto, and I think I briefly went over this, but without to showcasing this. See, they're putting relationships together, but you have to first give them the information. And then to validate or to justify it, it could be on non-authoritative or authoritative assets. So what I'm getting at and how this pertains to multiple locations, all right? In understanding this, I hope that you do. I can train, especially right now, because if you go and check your server log, who's coming to the site right now? Amazon, Yandex, Bing, Google, OpenAI, right? It's a feeding frenzy right now. So when you're training, make sure that you're training on the locations and the services. Your brand, you're building your goal right now is becoming synonymous with the services that you provide and the locations that you provide them. See this? Repeating service, brand, location on authoritative or non-authoritative doesn't matter, but it needs to be repeated more than once. And Google values a review or a testimonial, especially when it's been said from the horse. Okay. For those of you that understand that, great. That's a nugget for you. That took me a year to figure out. So there you are. If you understand that, then great. If not, well, I apologize. Moving forward. And then that brings me right into schema markup. All right. See, one of the errors, all right, there's two things that I notice a lot. So I don't see it here. Okay. But when I was doing some analyzation on other assets, what I noticed is that hierarchy, if I'm going to use schema markup, you're only marking up what's on the page. Okay. Also, if you're looking at a page, your page is not a facts page. It's not a web page, a website, and an article. Are you with me? That's one element that I want to point out to you. You don't classify your site or a page that I'm ranking in a high commercial intent atmosphere or competitive landscape as an article and a facts page. It's not. Okay? We want to only build entity relationship. That's key. So if you're going to use schema, the tip here is A, classify your page correctly. B, there's a hierarchy. If you're going to do it right. There's a hierarchy of information. And C, the last thing is you don't utilize or double stack. More is not better. Also, you want to condense and combine attributes. In fact, here, let me show you something here. Can I use website and website schema in a page? Is it okay? Or combine? Okay. Okay. Yes, you can use website schema alongside other relevant, other websites. Can I use the same schema type, website and website, in one page or combine? I'm just using this as an example, okay? You can use different schema types in one page, which we know. Then I guess I'm not asking it correctly. But there's hierarchy nesting, which is what we're talking about. Nesting is interesting. I'm looking for it to say what you want to do is combine it into one, condense it into one, and only use one. So if you're using, say, website, you don't do two websites. You don't write organization twice. And there's a proper hierarchy of writing it. Okay? If you're looking to understand the hierarchy or the ontology, you go over to schema.org. There's a hierarchy. I named the page. Okay, this is a website. That's first. This is a website. There's a web page. Is the website. Now, is it an article? Is it a blog post? Is it an organization? Well, this is a website. This is more, and then we go down a level. This is a web page on a website. This is an organizational page. Here's the organization. The subclass of organization is local business. Well, we're a local business. Are you with me? There's a hierarchy. And if you want the exact hierarchy, go over to schema. Okay? So that was another thing. See, if I'm not doing it correctly, is Google looking at it the same? Also, if it looks like I'm manipulating, I might get dinged on that. Also, too, you need to name all of your locations, right? If I have 2 locations in, say, Houston, I want to mention them. Are you with me? So make sure we're doing that. Schema markup, don't double up. We want to combine. There's a proper hierarchy, and your page cannot be a flipping article, a blog post, a facts page, and the organizational page. Because it's not. You only mark up what's on the page, and then pay more attention to entities than anything else. All right? Okay, moving forward. I know it's late. I'm slowing down a little bit. I lost track of time. It's all good. All right. Okay, around the web. So reviews around the web. This is critical. Remember that last lesson we just talked about where I showed you where Google was taking a review, okay? They were bolding an entire sentence and associating that as an entity. It was bolding to the brand, business, or service. Why? Because it was mentioned in the flipping schema as their slogan. And then they had a reviewer repeat it verbatim in a review. And they highlighted it as the most relevant review. That's gold. That's gold. That is gold. Oh my gosh. Oh, if you understand that little process there, that's the whole game right now. All right, moving forward. Reviews around the web. So with that, I said that to say this. The reviews around the web, remember, it all starts, you plant the seed within your asset. And then around the web, I'm repeating what I already say. Remember, it starts with me. But to validate, to justify, it has to be said on the web, on authoritative or non-authoritative assets. And then people will see this type of stuff here and think that these are the most valuable assets. No, Google is ranking the most authoritative first. Of course, this is going to show up here. But to justify it or to validate it, it needs to be said on multiple sources, and they will validate on any authority site that they want. As long as it's found on the web in the forward-facing index. Has it been cached? Has it been seen? So what's the tip? Well, we want to get found around the web. So here's what I want. Here's what I mean. So let's go back out here to personal injury lawyer, DUI lawyer, and let's do personal. Here, how about this? Let's do truck accident lawyer. I don't know. Fort Myers, my old hometown. Okay, I grew up here, by the way. So let's scroll down. Oh, thanks for that check too. Here you go. Anywho, why do I? This thing's making freaking noise. Stop making noises. Oh, it says I'm touching it. I don't notice it, but I'm touching the. I hear these. I hear like. Like what the heck? That mice in here? Anyway, around the web reviews. Okay, I'm starting to get tired. So here, I'll try to condense this. But I can't help myself. If I'm going to explain it, I want to explain it properly. All right. If you have any questions related about this topic or any other, please put them in. I will go through your questions. If you take the time to ask, I'll take the time to answer. All right. So here, let's go down this list. So around the web. Okay. So what you want to validate. All right. Just like reviews around the web. Okay. Generally, reviews, testimonials, and NAP information is shared almost the same amount of times. Okay. So what we want to find is this. So you come over here. We're just going to take this winner here. Here, let's take one. This one has 75. Okay. You bring this up here. All right. We're going to put the brand name in, and we're going to take this. We're going to put this in quotations. And this is one way of doing it. And you're going to type review. They're weak. Okay. Now, reviews around the web and co-citation around the web. When you have multiple locations, critical. In the forward-facing index, okay? This is forward-facing. There's the index and there's the SERPs. What we're talking about is the SERP, forward-facing, meaning that it's getting cached and recached. Any stuff that's in the index is losing value as time progresses, okay? Just like your links. That's why links lose value over time. But we also know that links that aren't showing in the search results pass power, right? Took me a long time to figure out how that worked. But with that being said, we want to figure out how many mentions from top performers are they getting reviews? How many sites are listing reviews? How many sites have a positive sentiment for your business? How many sites have positive sentiment? Sentiment can be classified as positivity or a positive review. So, to simplify this, when you're building your geo-specific, niche-specific, general, your aggregators, make flipping sure that we have a variation of description for the business. Make sure that we're posting positive reviews and getting positive reviews on multiple sites, but also make sure that we're switching up and varying our directories and our citations. And we're making sure that the sentiment is positive and matching the performers above us. Are you with me? So the amount of times and the sentiment is wildly important. Also, when I'm trying to increase this number of reviews and or co-citation found around the web, we want to take into account that we can build in order to increase the amounts to multiple pages. Also, just like your press releases, just like your links, the value of these assets lose value over time. Make sure that your counts are staying equal. Have you ever noticed that you'll see a new player run up the ladder? And then you'll sit back and you'll say, how? Because Google rewards freshness, right? They've uploaded their photos. They've optimized their profile. They've done their citations. Their aggregators are pumping traffic. They have ads on, right? They're volume and consistency. Okay? So found around the web, reviews, and also your co-citation, and the sentiment could be perceived as positivity or a testimonial or a review around the web. Okay? So make sure that we're handling that, and we can come up with these numbers by analyzing and looking. 3 pages, we have 5 per page that are actually positive. That's 15 allocations. Roughly, hypothetically, we're just looking at this as an example. You can also look at reviews, testimonials, what people are saying, what people said, found around the web, or you can just search like this too. All in text works well too. There's tools that help this out, but we can come down the list here. 5 pages with roughly 5 per page, okay? Or we can say 7 per page. 35. Are you with me? So I need 35 instances of positive sentiment found around the web. That can be built with co-citation and also actual reviews in multiple sources. That leads me to the next thing when you have multiple locations: paid citations, paid directories. I left this up to showcase. Do not, I repeat, give your equity to sources that you give money to. Okay? Now, like this. I don't need to give a reciprocal link. A link is built when I can put it inside of my schema. So when I pay for a citation, unless you absolutely want it to be visible and you feel that it's a conversion amplifier, which I don't think it is, people trust what Google trusts. Like, this being here isn't going to shift the person that has a problem, right? Like, if I saw that this said B, would I not still give this guy dude a call if he was ranking in maps, he had the ads, and he was ranking organically? Of course not, right? I'm actually less likely. Like, who in business is running perfect and has never had anybody upset? That's unbelievable, right? So with that being said, paid citations, paid directories, paid geospecific, paid niche specific. If you want to build reciprocal linking, right? I want to give them a link. Put it in your schema, right? We know that the schema will count as a link. And how do we know this? Well, I tested it. What was the test? Well, when I have a website and then I have another website that I used to own, if I take this offline and then all of a sudden I go back in, right? It's not hosted, right? But I go in and I still have my Google Search Console connected. And then I check and I see reciprocal links, or I check the links. It will still get links from sites that don't exist anymore within the web. And then on top of that, not only that, if I put it inside of the schema markup, do it for yourself. If you have two sites, put a link inside a schema markup over to another site that you own, and then check Google Search Console or check the tools and see Search Console is best. Look in Search Console and see if you get a link. I guarantee you do. The schema markup is getting seen and it's getting counted. Okay. So we know that they're seeing it and they know that they're valuing it because I see that it gets picked up in Search Console. So that's what I would highly recommend that you do. Okay. Don't give them visibility. Don't do this unless you feel that it's going to be a conversion amplifier. It lends no credibility. Unless it's up to you. It's up to you. But I'm not giving them a free link. Not like this. Okay. But this goes into around the web. Okay. Now I want to point this out to you. All right. What I want to do, or where I want my testimonials and reviews, is going to be the places in the sort order when looking at winners. Okay. When I'm looking at the sort order of a winner's brand name, what assets are showing up after their main website? For instance, let me show you this. So if we go back over here, okay, and we get a winner, okay, let's get a primary winner. Let's get this guy out of here. So this guy's a primary winner. I'm sure he gets lots, right? He's got 700 reviews. He's probably been in business a while. So let's do this one instead, okay? So I look up this particular website or this particular brand, okay? And this is a lawyer in Fort Myers. So I'm just going to put FL so it understands. Now remember, I'm looking for authoritative NAPs, citations, directories, any asset that is listed in the sort order after the brand. This is where I want to get my reviews around the web created and be very precise on what is being said. Sentiment matters. You could say nice words, but if the sentiment does not mirror what sentiment is being said about performers, like how you feel and the way it's said, right? ridiculous, but that's how it works now. Then you want to make sure that it's recrafted so you can run your tools to see what the sentiment is. Make sure that this mirrors. It's very important. But here's how you check to see where you want your reviews found around the web. So I'm looking at a top performer within an industry or within a brand. So here's the brand. Now, what assets show up after the brand? Well, these are the assets that will be most valued when I'm getting testimonials or reviews. Facebook, ding. LinkedIn, ding. Yelp, ding. Super Lawyers, ding. These are the assets. If I was in Fort Myers, Florida, and I was paying for citations, right? Because when I pay, did you notice that you get more leniency when I'm leaving reviews? Like Yelp is a prime example. Go pay Yelp their $200 or their $500 for their monthly little thing, and then they'll lower you down to $200, right? But did you ever notice after you pay them, you get a bunch of visibility, you lower the budget down, and then you shut them off? But did you notice when you're sending them reviews, they actually stick? You're welcome. So that's do what's required and pay Caesar's what Caesar's, and get your reviews found around the web on the most authoritative sources that are being listed after your competitor's brand name when doing a search like this. These are the places that I want to have mentions and reviews, whether it's a review section or not. These are the places that are most valued by Google, because when I search for a competitor, this is the sort order based on their brand. Okay? Very important to understand. And when I have multiple locations, remember, I need to, just like Google ranks pages, not sites, I need to give the equal amounts. If I have two locations in the same city, I can't give this one 33 reviews, but then give this one 20. I can't build 270 directories to this one and only do 50 over here. No, they're equally as valuable, just like your web pages. Okay, you with me? Okay, great. Let's move forward. Doubles of the same type. Okay, we talked about, it's not an article, it's not a fax, okay? Mark up your entities. Navigation, organization, local business, your main types, your images, your video, your disambiguations. Outline anything that is a person, place, thing, location, zip code. These are the things that we want repeated. Relevance equals rank. All right? Okay, that's that. We talked about the schema. We talked about the different types. We talked about traffic code, citation. So, see this section here? All right. People play around with this, but remember, this description is what's showcased around the web. Okay? Google rewards freshness. So, if and you should have access to your citations and your directories, your primary 24 that you get, right? Your primary general that is also most authoritative. When you update here, make sure that you update there as well. And note, each page, each service, Google ranks pages, not sites. Now, when I'm building out citations or directories primarily, and then I also have my co-citation, my comments or whatever, press release, whatever. Focus on entities and make sure I'm updating this, and then go back and update all your other assets. This can cause distortion or hallucinations or dilution of your brand. I'm loving it. That hasn't changed, right? This slogan, this motto, this term has been associated to McDonald's for a very long period of time. So if they started going on saying la, 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 like it would be repeated. Maybe that's a bad example. I'm thinking about food now. I hope you get the point. We want to keep our citations and directories up to date, but we want to make sure that we're rotating them and we're packing with different entities that are associated to our services and locations. The big key here is this mirrors your directories. This is packed with entity. The entities are locations and service type. And then this is distributed across directory, citation, paid. And when I update here, I update there. I always see a miscommunication with what is found around the web and what's found on the asset, the originating asset. They need to repeat. Don't believe me? Then why is Google pointing out mottos that's only found in schema markup and making it bold in that woman's review? Remember that site I just showed you? It's key. Moving forward. Supporting content and your pages. Let me show you something. So I've shown this to ad nauseum, right? But it's very important. That's why I repeat it. All right. When you come over here to maps, let me point when you're optimizing for, say, a location. All right. Let's just say we're in, I don't know, Dallas. So Dallas to Google, right? See the red? This is Dallas. Okay. But to the people of Dallas and to Google, most notably, Dallas is made up Dallas is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Wow. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. Wow. 18 and counting. That's 4 times 20 at least. There's 80 plus zip codes to make up Dallas. To be relevant for Dallas is to be relevant for this. All of these zip codes. Zip code is important because it's entity. And then to the human, to the person or the people of Dallas, Dallas is not only all those zip codes, and not only is it what's in the red, but it's made up of communities. People are communities and streets and counties and areas, right? These entities, in order to have geo-relevance, needs to be repeated in supporting content and in primary commercial targeted content. So if I have 2 locations, right, and they're in the same city, but are servicing different neighborhoods or areas or zip codes, make it known. Make it very known. And then you'll say, well, yeah, but this could disrupt the overall cosmetic appeal of the page. Remember, scripts, tags, schema, Google reads the rendered DOM. Anything in the DOM is being read. There's human, cosmetic, and then there's what matters, right? Google. Give Google what Google's looking for. Make entity relationship, okay? This is very important to understand. And you can do this inside of your schema if you want, okay? So when I'm building my supporting, I understand supporting content is to build top of funnel, right? Critical, very important. If you asked me a year and a half ago, I would have said, why? I understand you're not a blog, but if you're doing information assisted selling, this isn't me being a blog. This isn't going to have my website having an overarching amount of informational content. This will have 6 to 8 pages, right, of informational content that's supporting primary service. Inside of those supporting pieces of content, I can break down neighborhoods and areas that I service and point to my primary service location page. For instance, I can talk about Oak Cliff and Cedar Crest and West Dallas inside of supporting content and point internal anchor text and talk about it in my schema to my Dallas page. This way, my Dallas page is relevant for Dallas primarily, but I'm also hitting all of those secondary pages, all those secondary locations as well. I need to be entity relevant, okay? Because I'm already have my products. I have my products over on GVP. That's my reciprocal. I'm talking about, I would hope that you're talking about maybe neighborhoods or areas. Now, we're not going to build dedicated pages, no. I'll mention is very good. What's even better is I have a product that is talking about a neighborhood, right? It's in the description. And then on top of that, I have supporting articles where I have anchor text pointing to my Dallas page that says Cedar Crest, that says Cock the Hill, or whatever this says, Oak Cliff, Cedar Crest, West Dallas. And then on top of that, if you're doing it right, maybe I even have zip codes as A tags. This way, my internal links, what I say about myself, is valued heavily by Google. Geospecificity is key. Okay, so make sure you're doing this. That's it. Those are critical when you have multiple locations. The supporting content is how we are geofencing areas right now. And then two, let Google decide and figure out when you're building out your supporting. I know we're cross-pollinating tactics, not tactics, strategy here. Tactics change, strategy is forever, right? My strategy is to geofence based upon city, my top level, and then in order to hit all the other sublocations and be relevant for the sublocations, I talk about and cross-link in supporting content. This is how you geofence in 2026. All right. And then on top of that, I would hope that you're building out, remember the campaigns that we spoke about earlier for the advertising? You're also targeting those and sending them to my high commercial intent page in a subdirectory. But on subdomains, I'm also targeting primary areas as well, right? And those are my ad landing pages. I'm hyper relevant for many things. Okay, let's answer questions. I had a lot of fun with you guys tonight, by the way. Shuttle bus, good thumbs up, thank you. DJ Alex Super Trella 3749. Hey Chris, been catching your live videos and been really helpful. Well, thank you. I aim to be helpful, sir. I'm glad I could be helpful. My head's cold. Oh. All right, I guess that's better. Can't win them all. I'm not a fashion. I'm not a fashionista. Moving down the list here. I run a local bee removal. Ooh, that sounds fun. I run a local. Just blabber, nothing works. Well, Abraham John 2601. You never trust anybody with two first names. That's the first thing. The second thing is, how much do you want to bet? What's your asset? I guarantee, I speak to business owners, maybe perhaps as yourself. And oftentimes when they say that this doesn't work or this doesn't work, it's because they're not doing any of the work. This potentially could be yourself. I doubt it. You seem pretty, you even put a period, but you didn't capitalize the J and the just, but that's fine. It's okay. You made this statement and I understand, but I implore you to actually deploy some of the work and be patient. I would assume that your website probably just started. You might have just been in business, and maybe you've been thinking that strategies and work in a shorter period of time. Maybe. I don't know. But I wish you the best, sir. Let's help this gentleman. I run a local bee removal company. And if you ever need a real business to use as an example on a live, welcome to use mine. Appreciate your content. Well, feel free to tell me your business. In the meantime, we're going to go and take a look at ABRA Ham John, two first names, 2601. And we're going to go and take a look. We're going to come over here and see what kind of business this gent's in, if any. I assume this is not you. There we go. There he is. Well, I wanted to help. I wanted to see what you had going on. Abraham, John. I love you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Abraham. Thank you, DJ Alex Super Trella 3749. Bee Removal Company. Bee Removal Company. Text me 570-810-1080. Send me that URL. I'd love to take a look. Maybe we can blabber a little more together. Abraham, I look forward to seeing you again. And I'm going to miss you, Abraham. Kisses. I love you, man. Shuttle bus. Ladies, good to see you. Who's this? WG Lima, my man. Good to see you. Have a great night. Carlos, have a wonderful night. DJ, same guy again. It's been a pleasure. Hey, you know what? I'll be speaking February. My good friend Eldar from Local Dominator. The best GeoGrid in the whole game. Nobody's even messing with him right now. I mean, if you want to go through the complications of Viking, go ahead. But if you want something that's easy to use. Oh, by the way, I'm not promoting it. I don't get any kickback at all. I like his tool. He's a great guy. I actually met him in the Philippines 3 years ago. I did a conference for my friend William Jones. Great guy. Another great guy. I did a conference, and that's where I met Eldar, and he was wearing a wizard hat, running back and forth on the stage, and he just had his baby boy, and him and I clicked right away. And he's a good guy. He's a great guy. He built his tool up. He's been pumping. He's been actually doing the work, unlike John Abraham. You know, he's been planning his work and working his plan, unlike John Abraham. But I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. John Abraham, I'll see you, dude. I love you. No photo. No content. No nothing. Just blabber. Just this. I'll see you guys. Love you so much. Again, my name is Chris Palmer. We're chrispalmer.org. All right. You can come and visit us and check us out. I mean, we have website traffic, the best website traffic, and you can take a look for yourself the type of website traffic that we have. You can see that we have we're very affordable. You know, I'm fair. I'm a fair guy. One of the fairest, actually. I'm a fair, loyal person who's fair and loyal to me, which is far and few. Very far and few, I'll tell you that much. You know? But consulting, training, GBP lists. I have many trainings coming. Mastermind prices lowering, testing group, private consulting, group coaching, a YouTube mastermind, white label services, and then don't forget this as well. Here, I don't know if you knew about this. I don't promote much, but this is the end of the video. Not many people make it here. Gray Hat SEO. And you know, I double thought this for a while. I own grayhatseo.com, right? And, you know, I had some grief and I had some second thoughts. And the reason for Gray Hat SEO isn't because we break every rule imaginable or that would ever hinder or hurt a business owner. It's that I'm actually transparent about the tactics. You know, I'm not going to say on my website, like a lot of these white hat warriors out here, white hat links. Like, I'm not like that with my clients. Like, that's not how I roll. I'm very transparent. I'm very upfront. It is what it is. And I'm very fair. Like, it's just not in the cards for small business owners or local business owners that I work with, that I've had the pleasure to work with, to pay $200 for a link or $100 for a link to buy enough that actually works. It's just not in the cards for a small business owner to pay $1,000 a month for GBP when they're only doing $8,000 a month, right? Or whatever it is. So we're very affordable. We're down to earth with pricing. I'm very affordable and transparent. All right. What I have available here, this is my fully managed services. You can take a look. I don't do this much, so I'm just going to go for it. You can come inside of here. I don't generally do this, but I'm bragging, right? We have fully managed. I have white label. I have coaching. I have group consulting. Come over here. You want Google Maps management? You want to see fair? See, I'm not picking based upon a geo, like a location, a geo, and then charging you more based upon location. The amount of service or the amount of work that goes into it is the same whether it's this far or this far, regardless of what anybody says. And you can take a look. You can read all about it. We have a service overview here. Here's what you get. Fully managed. Optimization, daily posting, traffic, clicks, engagement, a full-time success manager. You email him on this platform, he messages you back in less than 12 hours. His name's Mike, right? We have Mike, Tammy, Dave. They're there. They're live. They're on it. This isn't chrispalmer.org. I'm hard to get in contact with, right? I'm chasing. I'm on the chase. I have an 8-year-old. It's madness here, right? That's why I put people in position that I trust and I love to help me run my service here. I have Mike, I have Tammy, I have Dave, I have Alex, I have Bay, I have Andrea, right? You with me? I so just hired a new man. His name's Andrew. I have a team, I have a squad, and we're here to service you. At $327 a month, you get a fully managed campaign. Nobody can touch this. I've been on here helping business owners like you for nearly a decade. And if you go looking online, how many bad reviews are there? 1, 2 at max in a decade? Must be doing something right. Come see me, Gray Hat SEO. I'm very public. I'm very open. I'm very transparent. You can meet the squad right here. We can learn all about it. Andrea, Bay, Angelica. I had to let Angelica go. She's part-time. Tammy, Dave, Riyadh, Mrs. Riyadh. That's Riyadh and his wife. I forgot about you, Riyadh. I'm sorry, brother. Donna K, that's my mammy. And Dawn, they used to help me with social media, but they were getting a little lackadaisy, so they're more part-time. Katie P, that's Katie Palmer. That's Alex's wife. That's my brother's wife. Jarhan, this is a brother from another mother. Sammy D is my developer. Austin P, that's my son. And Lily P is my daughter. They're on the payroll. We can talk about that later. Take a look at this. We have a map service. Come check it out here. I don't usually do this. I'm sorry. I'm on a roll. What can I say? It's the end of the video. Nobody's going to see this. But if you do see it, I'm serious. Check this out. We have preferred map service. Check this out. Look at this. Nobody's doing this. You want traffic? You want engagement? You want keyword tracking and get a report that's updated dynamically every 2 weeks? Track up to 10 keywords. It's updated dynamically. I'll give you your own grid. You don't even have to bother me. You get it. It's local dominator, white label. That's what it is. That's $30 a month right there, right? If you go pay for it, $30 a month. 10 keywords will cost you $35. Just that alone is worth $35. But on top of that, you have a dedicated manager. You click on this right here and message Mike. He lives in Sweden. He's flipping online all the time. Anyway, take a look at this. 5 keywords. We do 10 now, actually. But up to 5? Okay, 5 it is. My mistake. I misspoke. Goodness forbid. Case studies. These here are connected to my mastermind. I'm launching. I have books. I have multiple things that are about to launch. I'm doing it all at once. But traffic, clicks, bi-weekly grids, monthly reviews. You get to talk to me every single month. That's a strategy session, and we go over the plan for the next month, right? That value is outrageous. Adjusted GBP strategy. We'll start the grid tracking. We create your plan, and we do daily tracking. This is traffic, clicks, and then on top of that, reporting. Then if you take a look at the fully managed, we do reputation management, we do traffic, clicks, reporting, and you get a manager and you get to strategize with me once a month for $327. Nobody can touch that price. The value exceeds the cost every time with all my services. Check this out. Come over here, PR. You want PR? Have you seen what Global Newswire charges? They want like $750. It's ridiculous. Check this out. Look at this thumbnail. Who makes thumbnails cooler than me? I'll answer it for you. Nobody. Nobody. I'm the best, in my opinion. I mean that with being as humble as possible. Here, check this out. Well, I try at least. I do try my hardest. I thought this one was really cool. That's why I featured it. But check this out. Look at this. PR, we have 3 separate plans, technically 4. Come down here, though, but we'll talk about the 3 here. Look at the beauty here. And I have multiple ways that you can invest with us. Look at this. We have the article. This is level 1. We'll pitch it out there for you to 50,000 flipping people. I guarantee a 600-word article, and I guarantee that you are going to get at least 500 links at an $80 price point. We write it, pitch it, promote it for $80. Regional. Then, here's the next thing that we do. Look at this. For $350, right? For only $350, we do the regional. Here, look at this. We'll do the regional, right? And we'll do a global newswire. Yahoo, AP News, Benzinga, MarketWatch. What others are charging $450 or more, we'll do it for $350. And if you find somebody that has a better distribution or the same distribution and it's cheaper, come see me. I'll work with you. If you're an agency, if you're a business owner, right, and you want bulk or you can promise me consistency, we can work out a price together. Something that makes sense for the both of us. All right? It's white label pricing that's fully managed. All right? Consulting, you know about that. This is my PR services. And then I have something very special and very unique. Here, I'll show it to you right now. All right? If you want to get the standard, if you want to get any top UK, all right, publication, if you want a UK press release, we have very special UK press releases. Nobody's offering these yet. But look at this. I could get you some of the best distributions. All right. We have our UK for a very low cost. It's $150 and you get some of the best. If you scroll down here, I'll show you something here quick. I have a lot of text here. Sorry about that. We might have went a little overboard. And then I broke down all of the questions in sections for us. All right. Why us? Why me? What's up with it? How to buy it? Right? We did it all. If you scroll down here, I'll show you something. Actually, where in the heck is it? All right. So here's where we break down all the pieces. 1,000-word article, 1,250 links guaranteed for $300. Look at this. 25 sites, 100,000 media. We optimize it, right? There's no upcharge. We do the embeds. We have the images. Look at this. UK, 180 guaranteed. Okay? And we'll stack them all together for you. So I have all kinds of wild stuff here. Now, if we come inside of here, Mike, why did we not add why is my thing not embedded here? Why is my distribution not linked here? That's what I want to know. Why is the actual distribution not linked here? Talk to the press release specialist. Well, that's about to change. I do not see the link that shows the distribution. And that is really making me upset right now. I'm getting fired up here. I like this page. It's all right. It's plain. That's how I like things. UK distribution coming soon. It's already live. We have that now. So this is fully managed services. Let me go see what's on this page here. Let me see if it's on here. This is one I'm just playing with. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. I was just playing with this stuff. Okay. I love you guys. I do apologize for yapping, but I love you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I thank you for your time. Again, Chris Palmer.org. All right? Come on over here. If there's anything I can help you out with, let me see here. We have directories. Check this out. I mean, since we're here and you guys are still here, I'll cover some of this stuff with you if you want. I mean, you're here, so let's do it. Check it out. You guys might not, ladies and gentlemen, you may not know about this, right? But take a look at this. We service, here's the UK directories, 225. It's actually 180. That's a typo. I make mistakes. I'm human, but I'm transparent about it, right? It's not fancy. I don't have a dashboard, but we do a very good job for a very fair price, right? The value, I guarantee, will exceed the cost. No question. And two, you always have the safety net. Like, you're paying with a card. We give away money every day, right? Like, you don't go 10 years and have 2 negative reviews without making sure that you're doing a good job and making sure that customers are happy. This is our first priority. Longevity is everything. Consistency is everything. My reciprocity is everything. Take a look at this. 100 business directories, $25. It's cheaper than flipping Fiverr. And you're getting it from me. We give you logins, passwords. It's high quality stuff. Citations, the best. Go over to your White Spark. Go over to your Bright Local. Their list, that's what we're building. They're charging you $250 a pop. I'm giving you $60 for $40. These are double login, double verified. Nobody's doing this stuff. just saying. I'm just saying. Homepage links. Haro. We call it Haro, but I use Muckrack. Do you know what Muckrack is? It's a $5,000 buy-in to have the opportunity, to have the ability to pay and to pitch. Just as a buy-in, it cost me $5,000. It's not about the dollars, it's about the value. I can get you listed on the best sites, the best, all of them, right? Now, depending upon your service, you can read for yourself what we're doing, and I call it Haro because more people know what the word Haro is than Muckrack, all right? I could say it's Muckrack Outreach, or I can make up some nonsense like the rest of them, but no. Transparent. Here's what we're doing. Here's what you get. Very concise. Here's what I guarantee. Here's what you're getting. And look at the price, right? I guarantee a 30 or better. Most sites are more, and I don't charge you for syndicated links, unlike some others. The going rate on these right here is $250, the cheapest price. HaroBacklinks.com is $250. We're doing these at $230. You sign up monthly, $220. I've gotten list on Dash It. I've gotten Ahrefs links. I've gotten Moz. We've gotten The Guardian. We've gotten MSN. All of the hot boys, I can get them. And if you're willing to pay, Siege, how they're doing those authority, I have all those. And it won't cost you $4,000. I could get you those. You want a CNN? I can get it for you. You want any high quality link like that? I can get it. Send me a text message, 570-810-1080. If you want some really high quality stuff like that, send me a text message. 570-810-1080. CNN, Times, New York Times, all of that stuff. Send me a text message, and we'll talk about pricing, and we'll see if your business is authoritative enough or quality enough to receive that. All right? Like, if you're an HVAC dude in Fort Myers, and I mean this with the utmost respect, and you have no visibility and your business started last year, the probability of me being able to get you a CNN link is 0 to none. But if you have a LinkedIn, if you have Facebook, if you're getting some type of traffic, if you're a notable, true, actual company that has accomplishments of some sort, some angle, I could get you some very high quality links cheaper than anybody else. That's been my whole from the beginning of this channel and the beginning of my SEO journey. It's always been value over cost. Always. Because I was looking to help people that look like me. Because when I started, everybody was trying to beat me in the head. Why? Because they knew something that I didn't. So when I started this, that was my goal. To help you understand the stuff that these people make seem like smoke and mirrors and to give you the best stuff for the best price. I'm the plug. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. I'll see you in the next one. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I'll definitely cut this part out, but I love you guys. For the 7 of you that's here, I don't know who you are, but I love you. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for caring for me. It's been a rough few months, but I'm back. I've made my decision. And yeah, I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Many blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Bye-bye. Oh, Johnny Abraham. Smooches. Clown.